Aldermore being a new bank, it doesn't have legacy systems in some ways some other organisations do. So this was around having automating as much as we can, and we do that outside of our risk world as well. We have an awful lot of automation. So we started the process of tendering. So we went through a formal tender process. There were 3 organisations invited to go forward. One obviously was the reason I'm stood here. One of them was Stratex. The other thing it did is it certainly made my life easier in terms of not having to chase down so much. So again, going back to our requirements, so making sure we had a degree of automation so that when actions come up for review, some of you must have experienced it, it's pardon my language, but it's a right bugger sometimes to get people to give you the feedback on the actions and the progress that people are making. But if you automate some of that, which is again one of the selling points that we liked, that was good news, because it took a lot of that sort of routine activity away as the system was doing a lot of that work. With the system support, that's what that's allowed me to do, is take that slight step back and be in that oversight position, which I wasn't before. So less doing, I guess, and more management of the process and more oversight of the process. Which I said was not possible when you're entrenched with Excel workbooks and stuff just landing on you all the time and having to work through it. So that degree of automation has allowed us to start to split it apart. Focus on controls. Again, I mentioned that this sort of clamouring for information on effectiveness of controls. Again, the system has allowed us to do a lot more work on that in terms of how controls are designed and how well they perform, and then report on that and overlay it against a risk profile. We've had to change our structure internally in terms of our governance framework, and what that's done is it's begun to make senior management a lot more aware of what's going on and what their responsibilities are.
Risk management tools, one of the key things as well we needed was a tool to do it. We started off, and that was the journey, and Andrew started off and they started to build it in SharePoint. You know, we've got a raft of data in terms of causes and consequences. All of our controls are captured. They're all in there. We know in terms of the type of control, you know, is it corrective, detective, preventative, you know, we know whether how it's scored cold, assessed, you know, will it work on all cases or not. Raft of data. We have all of our control certifications against the heat map, you know. So we have been through the learning pains, but what the regulator wanted to know is we knew what our operational risks were.